Hi everyone, Laura here from testprepinsight.com, and today I'll be directly comparing the SAT prep courses from both Kaplan and Princeton Review. These are arguably the two most popular SAT prep options on the market, so oftentimes students and parents alike have a difficult time deciding which one to go with. Lucky for you, I've personally tested each course and evaluated all the different study materials, such as video lessons, live classes, practice material, and more. So if you keep an open mind, I think this video should be all you need to make an educated purchase decision. And by the way, if you find you need more info at any point during this comparison, I'll drop a link below to our full detailed written comparison of these two companies on our website. Or you can always just Google Test Prep Insight Kaplan versus Princeton Review SAT. All right, so let's get started by comparing the different course options and pricing between these two companies. And let's start with Kaplan, since their offerings are more straightforward. They offer 4 different courses to choose from, sort of a good, better, exceptional, and elite model. You have their basic self-paced on-demand course, which goes for about $200. Then there is their live online course, which costs around $800 and adds in live instruction. Then there's also a live online plus package, which is really similar to the live online, but includes 3 hours of one-on-one tutoring and a digital SAT practice book that costs around $1,100. Finally, there's Kaplan's unlimited prep course, also priced at just under $2,000, that adds even more live instruction and gives you unlimited access through December of your senior year. Most flexible option out there for sure. Princeton Review, on the other hand, takes a slightly different approach. They offer 4 different course options to cater to a variety of students and study methods. Currently, the cheapest is their self-paced course, which costs around $300. This option is obviously very similar to Kaplan's self-paced on-demand course. Up next, there's the Princeton Essentials course, which adds in live instruction. This costs around $1,000. It's similar to Kaplan's live online course. Then the next course Princeton offers is their 1400 plus course, which, as its name implies, guarantees you a score of 1400 or higher. I'll talk about the guarantees and the fine print behind them in a little more detail later, but this option costs around $2,200. And finally, there is the Princeton 1500 plus tutoring course option, which includes private tutoring plus a score guarantee of 1500 or higher. This course costs around $365 an hour. Also, don't sleep on Princeton's summer camp, which is a short but intensive bootcamp style course, sort of like the Essentials package, but with 30 hours of guided practice, reviews, and one-on-one support. This option costs around $1,500. Oof, that's a lot of pricing to cover, so let's take a step back here and look at the big picture. In terms of pure pricing, Kaplan is still the cheaper option. On average, their courses run around $100 to $300 less. But that doesn't really tell the full story here, and that's because both companies routinely offer deals and discounts. So in some circumstances, the Princeton courses may actually end up on par, if not a little cheaper than Kaplan. So be sure to check out the description below for the discounts. I'll do my best to round up any promo codes or coupons and keep the text below the screen updated so that you can save money when possible. All right, next up, let's compare the instructional component from Princeton Review and Kaplan. And really, there are 2 items to compare here: video lessons and live instruction. So let's start with video lessons first. And I've got to say, this is a really close call, but ultimately I have to give the edge to Kaplan here. Their video lessons are next level. I just like how Kaplan designs the videos around their core audience, teenagers. Rather than long, boring, pre-recorded lectures, Kaplan offers short, engaging videos that are never more than 10 to 12 minutes in length. I also appreciate how the Kaplan instructors use a very conversational and casual means of communication. Your instructor sits on a couch on screen or behind a minimalist desk and just talks to you, almost like you're having a quick chat over coffee. They use analogies and stories to make otherwise difficult topics seem relatable and understandable. And as they speak, animations, catchy graphics, and written notes appear around them and on screen. The entire production creates very light, fun videos that are ideal for teenagers. And that's not to say that Princeton video lessons are bad by any means. They're a very, very close second. Like the Kaplan lessons, Princeton's videos are also short in length to help hold a teenager's attention. And they also have some cool visual elements in their own right. Essentially, in every video, there's a plate of glass in between you and the instructor, and they actually write on it, keeping the on-screen notes between the two of you. This way, the instructor never has to turn their back and write on a whiteboard. Okay, so in terms of live instruction, I also give Kaplan the slight edge here. So to be clear, both companies offer top-notch, engaging live sessions led by some really skilled instructors. And I can't stress how important live instruction is when it comes to test prep. The live classes cover material that go well beyond what you get from the video lessons. Now, don't get me wrong, there is a lot of overlap between the content of the video lectures and live classes. But the classes just dive deeper and provide a different perspective. The video lessons, while excellent from both companies, are highly choreographed and scripted, while the live classes are not. But if there are a couple things that I prefer about Kaplan, it's that first, with Kaplan, I like that there's a second teacher working the chat function, answering questions that may arise. And second, I thought the Kaplan teachers assigned more targeted homework before and after each class. It just felt more tailored and comprehensive. Okay, next up, let's compare the practice material that both companies provided. And there are two factors to consider here, quantity and quality. So let's start with quantity first, and this one is an easy call. Princeton wins by a mile. They offer over 2,000 practice problems and 9 full-length practice tests compared to Kaplan's 1,000 practice questions and 4 practice tests. So if you're the type of student who learns best by doing, just hammering practice set after practice set, and taking frequent practice tests, there's no question in my mind that Princeton Review is the choice for you. Because honestly, practicing under exam-like conditions is incredibly important. Although practice exams are stressful, they are a huge advantage, as you'll feel much more comfortable on exam day after having taken a number of simulated tests. So for me personally, this larger quantity of tests is a benefit to Princeton students. And perhaps more important than the pure volume of practice tests is the quality of the practice material. And as far as the quality of the practice material goes, it's a dead heat. Both Kaplan and Princeton provide realistic practice questions that closely resemble the real SAT, as well as thorough, helpful explanations for each problem. I couldn't really decide on a winner here. Both companies are about the best in the SAT prep space in terms of quality. Okay, so the last major feature to compare here are the prep books from both companies. And this is another category in which I just could not declare a winner. Both Kaplan and Princeton each provide a set of high-quality, detailed textbooks that are great. For me, though, the big standout on the Princeton Review side is their SAT manual book, which tracks with your classroom lesson work. It contains testing strategies, key concepts to learn, and example problems to demonstrate points. I really like this book. I think it provides the most value for the students out of the entire Princeton set. On the Kaplan side, for students that sign up for the Plus version of their course, you get their digital SAT practice book, which supplements the live classes. It's written in a clear, easily understandable manner and covers both testing strategies as well as content review. Bottom line here though, if prep books are a key factor in your decision, you really can't go wrong with either company. Okay, before we start wrapping this up, I'm going to quickly rattle through how the two companies compare and a few other smaller, but still important categories. So first, starting with online dashboards and user interface, I personally prefer Kaplan's. It's cleaner, more modern, and just easier to navigate. Next is content access period. And Princeton wins here. They offer 1 year of access compared to Kaplan's 6 months of access, unless of course you opt for Kaplan's unlimited prep option. Last are the score guarantees I mentioned earlier. And while Kaplan does offer a higher score guarantee, it's really Princeton Review who takes the cake here with their 1,400 plus and 1,500 plus incentive courses. Now, this is a fantastic and frankly unique promise among prep providers. If you're serious about scoring high on the SAT, these two courses are dynamite. But there is some fine print. Essentially, both courses have baseline thresholds that must be met. So in order to be guaranteed that score of 1,400 or higher, you must start with a baseline score of at least 1,200. And for the 1,500 or greater score, you must start with a baseline north of 1,400. So these are not wide open guarantees by any means, but still very reassuring if you meet the criteria. All right, let's start wrapping this comparison up. And by the way, I should probably mention, we give away a free prep course every month as part of our giveaway club. So if you want a chance to win, you just have to do the 3 things right here on the screen. They're also listed in the description, super simple, take less than 10 seconds, and you're automatically entered. Hey, you never know, you could win a free Kaplan or Princeton Review prep course and save yourself some cash. So really, in my eyes, the decision here really boils down to your personal goals, your budget, and your particular situation. If you're looking to get a super high score, maybe 1400 or higher, and get accepted into a top-tier university, then I would recommend one of the premium Princeton courses, either the 1400 plus or 1500 plus course. I just think with the extra practice materials, dedicated tutoring, and the score guarantees, Princeton gives you a better chance of achieving your lofty goals. But outside of that situation, I have a stronger preference for Kaplan. If you're just looking for a more standard self-paced or live online prep course, I personally prefer their video sessions, live classes, interface, and overall curriculum. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment, and remember there are full detailed reviews of SAT content on our website.